course. But at this point, the left lacks the financial and political heft of right-wing influencers. In the United States, the radical right has the full force and fury of Donald Trump as its spokesman, and it also has one of the most well-funded and established political organizations in the world, the Republican Party, in its full embrace. Even without Trump, the GOP machinery now shares his ambition. The radical left has nothing comparable in its corner. Hard right activists, financed with cash from the uber-rich, have overtaken conservative American politics and now demand something akin to autocracy, while our altered language reflects, even incites, that ambition. Leading political pundits warn we may be seeing the demise of the United States as a democracy. The Canadian government says it's preparing for uncertainty, while its ministers are making contingency plans for upheaval south of the border. Maria Ressa, the Filipino journalist who won the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for her defense of independent media, warns that threats to democracy are now widespread. Populist strongmen, running on Trump-style platforms, have capitalized on the same politics of anger, fear, and resentment in their own countries, from Hungary to the Philippines, from Argentina to India, from Italy to Indonesia. Politics in Canada, too, is fragmenting and polarizing. Ressa calculates that the appeal of demagogues could mean that most of the world's populations will be living under authoritarian rule by the end of this decade. Amplifying the danger of political zealotry is the fact that we are facing a climate catastrophe. Rarely has there been a more dire need than now for concerted global effort and cooperation. And yet, we have become incapable of talking to each other. The language we once shared has been co-opted by extremists, and we are reduced to barking and snapping. It's not just that we dispute what path to take. We no longer agree on the meanings of the words that define our destination. I'm not saying we should be of one collective mind about anything, but surely we need the vocabulary to coherently disagree, to negotiate our way to some rational understanding with reasonable people on all sides. Without an embrace of a shared and logical discourse, we can't even agree on the facts. Without facts, we can't hope to conclude what is true. And without truth, we lose trust. This is not a good position to be in as the planet burns. We have arrived at a point where every word needs to count, a kind of linguistic all hands on deck. Whatever goodwill is left in the political realm needs to be scraped from the bottom of every barrel and applied to our common need for understanding. The movie version of the moment we're in would have the opposing generals and diplomats meeting on a train or on a ship or at the front lines, shaking hands, looking into each other's eyes, and finding the desire and some shreds of humility and compassion to overcome the hardliners in our camps and collectively avert disaster. So much is at stake. The political rhetoric we require right now must be precise. We need vocabulary that has weight and substance, words that convey our shared history, but that are stripped of sentimentality. To accurately identify the causes of our anger and resentment, we need to be able to trust our language and each other, to agree on what it means, and to recognize with a keen eye whose interests are served by this engineered breakdown in civil society. The political rage that has engulfed us is exhausting, rendering us almost incapable of rational conversations. But that's the intent of those who are fueling it. When I spoke with people about what I was digging into with this book, they quickly provided me with their own examples of altered language. White men claim they are not privileged, but persecuted.